off the wall. I'm not sure if they see me. What's going on? What's up, people? I guess they do see. I don't know if anybody's actually paying attention to me on YouTube because I haven't done it before. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I don't know for sure. I got the audio on. We'll see. But might as well just go ahead and get it started. If anybody has any problems on YouTube, you can let me know. I don't know if anybody will come in, but I'm gonna talk to you guys on TikTok, and I think you don't see each other, so that's cool. And I can just talk at the same time. So this past week, I guess everything happened with DL Hughley and Monique. Everybody saw that, right? Thank you, Clementine. I appreciate it. You can follow me on YouTube. And one of the things that I really kind of like want to talk about with that issue is, you know, when I listen to both of their sides of the story, and what's up? How you doing? It's your boy. When I listen to both sides of their story, I realized that it was a promoter problem. It had nothing to do with DL. It had nothing to do with but it had everything to do with Monique. But if you listen to both sides, like you got people who are on both sides of the spectrum. Like if you're a diehard DL Hughley fan, you riding or die with DL. If you're a diehard Monique, you riding or dying with her. But I'm here to tell you that there's truth in both of what they both said. Right? If you listen to him, he says that he never spoke to her that night and hadn't spoke to her in a minute. And she pretty much said the same thing. She just got information from him. She didn't say I spoke to him personally. She said I found out that he didn't want to, if he wasn't going to be headlining, he was going to bounce. And that could have been a promoter. That could have been, some of her people, but it wasn't her specifically. So when you start to really pay attention to this battle, it's really something that she should be mad with the promoter. So I was trying to figure out, like, why is she so mad at DL? And I tried to dig in a little bit and try to find out what was going on. And turns out she arrived there 5 minutes. She arrived there 5 minutes before she's supposed to go on the stage. But she arrived on time for a person who was supposed to be headlining. So now, but you got to think about it from DL Hughley's side for just a hot second. DL Hughley arrives early. He in there chilling, and she talked about him and his dog. So he may be in there chilling with his dog, sipping on some private stock, chilling out, ready to go, getting his mind right so he can act right on stage, get everybody laughing. And out of nowhere, problems. His contract said he was supposed to be the top billing. That means he gets paid the most. It also said that he could be able to change the lineup anytime he wanted. He had control of the lineup. And then also the third thing, they said he was closing. So he was told everything. So if you look at it from DL Hughley's perspective, he did everything right. He didn't do anything wrong. The contract went as it said it was going to go for him. So he shouldn't have any beef with her, right? Everything's going right. He doesn't have any beef with her. Everything's great. She shows up 5 minutes late. Not 5 minutes late. 5 minutes before her spot that she has now. But she had been told she's going to be headlining. She gets into the stage. I mean, stage bit tour. When you get to a place, if you ever been in entertainment, when you get there, you're not ready yet. I mean, you got to go and put makeup on, all this other stuff, and get stage ready. You just come out the car, you're not stage ready. Neophytes may do that, but old school people, nah. They get there, they get ready, they grab some food, whatever it may be, do their thing, chill out with their people, talk smack, go get ready, and then go on stage. She didn't have that time. She was rushed. Promoter problem. And then you look at both of their contracts. Think about it. Neither one of them knew of each other's contract, nor should they have. So neither one of them should be mad at each other. So that's why I didn't understand why she went on stage and blasted him so much. I'm like, why would you go? I understand at the very beginning she blasted the promoters, rightfully so, from what we know of, right? Why blast DL? I mean, she went after this man's wife, his dog, him, his family. I mean, dirty. And I'm like, what did he do to you? And then I started listening to her. There's nothing that she says he's done to her other than the fact that he wouldn't go before her. If you listen to her, hey, how's it going, T. Lopez? If you listen to her, she's literally saying, I am not going to go before anybody. I headline. You hear a bunch of ego, but you don't hear what DL Hughley did. From what she said he did, it's just that he took her spot, supposedly. It's like, but it's in your contract for both of you to have it. And once he put out, and I can understand her being mad. Don't get me wrong. I can understand her being mad. I can understand him being mad. But they're mad or pissed off should be at the promoter. I haven't heard her say one word about the promoter since she left that stage. She said nothing at all about the promoter. She's been going off on DL. DL ain't got nothing to do with running the show. Nothing. And here's the other thing. I've been in entertainment for over 20 years. And I've done promotions and stuff like that. I did flyers. I created all this stuff. Whenever you are billed first, in entertainment is called top billing. And that's usually for film, but they also deal with everything else. Film and television is their top billing, even promoting comedy and music and stuff like that. Top billing. If you have an "and" before your name, you are in second place there. You can tell on the ticket stubs. You can tell on the promotions. You can tell on everything that she was second place in that situation. He was top billing. Even if it's on her contract, here's one thing I got to say about she should be mad at her people and the promoters. Because why? They signed on March 28th and March 29th. It's been a month. March, April, May, 2 months. It's 2 months. 2 months of promotion. She's been in the business too long to realize that if her name's going second, she cannot be headlining unless the headliner chooses to do so. She knows that. I know that. And I've been in the industry for a long time as an entertainer, but not in front of the scenes. I was behind the scenes. So I know, as an engineer, being in television and film for 20 years, I know first name gets top billing. If your face takes up majority of the poster, you're top billing. Simple as that. There you go. She was not the headliner. I know that for a fact. And listen to Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley even says, is there a difference between being a headliner and headlining? Headlining is the actual verb. That means that you're doing something. Her contract did not say she was headlining. He said every comedian that's big like him and her and DL, in their contract, it's going to call them a headliner. But it doesn't say you're headlining. Now, here's the thing. I think her contract does make it look like she's the headlining and she's headlining the show. It says that type of situation that she's going to go last. It's the promoter. Why is she mad at DL though? He didn't promote it. None whatsoever. I don't know what T. Lopez said, but it didn't. She wasn't promoted as the top person, and that's just the way it is. I mean, but I'm like I said, I ain't got nothing against either one of them. I just think her going off on him is misplaced. All this anger should be toward the promoter because that person had them both sign contracts being the top billing. And she should have known, her team should have known. Everything was talking about DL and her, promotions, commercials, advertisement, digital, but Instagram, all the ads had DL on the top. She had to have something in her mind say, wait a minute, fools, I'm the top. Why y'all keep billing this dude first? And then there was something else that gave me a clue. They said she showed up 5 minutes before she was supposed to go live. You can't tell me. I've produced shows before. You can't tell me the producers weren't screaming and calling her people and saying, hey. Oh no, I'll give it in just a second. Bring factor. They weren't yelling in her head saying, hey, what are you doing? You're going on air like in 5, you're going live in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. You can't tell me the promoter wasn't calling her people or ringing her phone off the hook, telling her to get there on time. You can't tell me they weren't. Every promoter worth his or her, salt in the game had their people there. And if not, they screaming and yelling and calling every phone they can possibly find. So you can't tell me she didn't have a clue that she wasn't going to go on screen on set. She had one. She just thought that she was supposed to be first. And she, on her contract, she was. So going on and ripping the promoter, I totally agree with. But ripping DL, why? The only thing I could think of is she went and had her people or the promoter ask DL, you know what, DL, you've been here for a long time. You ready to go. Do her. She wants you to do her a solid and get on stage before her and then let her get her time to get ready. And then she, so she won't look so bad. And he's like, yo, that's unprofessional. She already like 5 minutes late. I'm not gonna go on set making it look like on stage, making it look like I'm 5 minutes late. No, that's all good. That's all good. No, she'll get it when she get it. I'll come on my time. 9:45. I'll be there at 9:43 and 28 seconds. I'm ready. That's me. My contract. I follow it. I'm there. Professional. Done. Data. But on her end, she was saying she was being professional too. According to her contract, she was way ahead of time. But somebody slipped up, and it wasn't DL. So, like you said, it's enough shine for everybody. And I understand why she lit into him. But regardless, I think she's got a contract dispute or lawsuit with the promoters. But she needs to stop going at DL for it. What did DL got to do with it? They both got the same contract, basically. It's not his fault. It's not even in the situation. It's not her. The only thing that's her fault was going on stage and ripping him and his whole family and his dog and all this other stuff. It's like, what was that about? That was pure ego. And one thing I also got, I got a story with Monique, and is a sad one, but personally, but the thing is not nothing negative, but in the situation it was bad towards her, not something that she did. But regardless, she's always saying my babies, my babies. And I'm like, wait a minute. How can I love my people? How can you love your people when you went on stage and did that to one of your people? He didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just be himself. He did absolutely nothing. And you reamed him, called him names, called him he's on the down low, all this stuff. And it talked about his wife and sexual connotations. I was like, damn, that's messed up. But anyway, that was my 2 cents on that. Again, personally, I don't know either one of them. But looking at the way she jumped on him, I think she needs help. And no disrespect to her or her family, but she went off on DL. I think she need to be checking out the man who wrote that contract, which is her husband or who she calls her daddy or whatever. I think that's the problem. I really do. Because there's too much dysfunction. If it's one person, yeah, I can see you and that person going against it. If there's two people, yeah, maybe you're right in that situation. When you got down to like 5 people that you don't pissed off and don't went off of and don't call them names and all stuff like that, at that point, it's you. It's you. Even if they did do something to you, it's your response to it. It's you. We all have had things happen to us that have been wronged, but the way you handle it, not scorch earth. I've been wronged by people who look like me and people who don't look like me. But I have fixed those things by talking to those people with respect, the way I want to be respected. I don't go at them the way, I think that what she believes is that she has to be so tough that she's overbearing tough. She's like bully tough and thinking that bully tough is going to get people to turn around. And that's just not good. I think they need to just sit down. It should have been behind the scenes. It should have never went public because again, she should have sued or went off on the promoters. And I have no problem personally with her going off on the promoters because it made her look bad. So I would have totally went off on the promoters on stage and would have went about doing my thing. But each person to his own. That was my 2 cents on that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is another one of our brilliant brothers and sisters out there, or 2 brothers and 1 sister. And confront him privately and not tarnish his character or her own. I mean, it really made her look bad. It's original. She's about to blow up. It's crazy. But the other thing I want to talk about is it's sad, and I hope something comes to a solution with it. Is Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, and Chris Rock. Chris Rock hasn't really said anything. He had a little like a snide remark when uh when Dave Chappelle got jumped. He's like, I thought that was Will Smith, and it was a funny little joke, a little snippet. But he really hasn't said too much anything, waiting on everything, and I get that and I respect that. It's a lot to take in. Uh, Will Smith, same way. He's taking time off. He's thinking about what he did. He's trying to change or doing whatever, doing the right things. I think. Yeah, rest in peace. Another shooting, but so the problem that I had today was that I saw a video and they said it came out is Jada Pinkett. I don't have anything like again. I don't know. I don't have any personally anything against her, but my point is this: the two main factors in this is Will Smith and Chris Rock. They're going to have to come to some point where they're going to have to face each other some way or another, or just squash it all together, whatever they got to do. But in due time, a mediator might be Denzel Washington. It might be, uh, you know, what's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I don't know why I can't remember his name because it's on everything. But those gentlemen that was at the event, they're better to be a mediator, somewhere in between. Not Jada. Jada was a part of the problem. And not saying that she did anything. I'm not blaming her for that. I do know she had a little stank face, and then Will overreacted. I don't blame her for his overreaction, but he changed the way he felt just because he saw her face. And that's not her fault. That's Will's fault for reaction. He could have looked her back and be like, "What? You gonna do something?" Instead, he ran up there and totally destroyed, burned the house down on this thing. Get some time, deal with it. I respect that. What I don't respect is that when he came back, Jada laughed. Then she became a part of the problem, more so, not the solution. So for her to be coming out and, oh, I think, we got two great black men and we can put them together as long as they get back together. I'm like, no, you are part of the problem. You can't come out and act like you're a solution or like you're trying to solve a problem. You're in the middle of it. You laughed at him getting slapped. You're not the mediator, especially since you didn't come out and say that he did anything wrong. You haven't admitted to your faults in it. Your fault is, I'm sorry that I laughed. It's not a laughing matter. I was upset. You know what I mean? I saw what he did. I thought he was wrong, or I thought he was right, whichever way you thought about it. But don't come out and act like you didn't have nothing to do with it. Don't come out and act like you didn't have anything to do with the aftermath of laughing. You were a part of the problem. And I ain't saying that you're the one who caused it. I'm not saying that. I don't know what was in his mind. You didn't like sick him on him or whatever, but he looked at your face and then he reacted. So in that vein, those two men need to work that out. And Jada needs to stay out of it. Let them two men work it out with a person or persons that had nothing to do with it, or had nothing to do with laughing about it, had nothing to do with saying anything negative about it, or nothing to do with the individuals themselves, somebody who saw it from the outside looking in. Because somebody who see it from the inside, you are a part of the problem. You didn't stop it. You didn't grab your man and say, "What you doing? Get your ass back here." No, you didn't do that. You watched on your perch him go walk up there. You knew there was no good to be coming out of that. And when he smacked him, you laughed. You're part of the problem. Not that, like I said, I'm not blaming her for what he did. That's all on Will. But what I respect about it is Will hasn't said nothing. He hasn't come out. I didn't like the fact the way he apologized. Don't get me wrong. It was some punk stuff to be like, you know what? I apologize to everybody else and their mama but Chris Rock. And then leaves and everything like that. And everybody's dropping him like a rock. Okay, put out a letter saying that I apologize. I think he's stuck in his feelings. But I think he's deserved over the life of a lifetime time to kind of chill. Time to chill. Time to look at his life and realize where he went wrong. And we should be able to give him that space. I do not like her pressuring him to come to the table. And I hate that red table because she's made that something and made her family less of something. We don't need to know your every little thing that's going on in your house. Please keep some of that to yourself. Every family needs to deal with some things internally before the world knows about it. You can't solve everything with the world knowing about it. If I had to deal with alcoholism or drugs like that, it's not going to help me with the world knowing that I am always on the ground or knocked out or whatever and whatever it is that I'm doing, peeing on myself. You don't need to know all that stuff. That's embarrassing. That's going to make it worse for me. I need to do this behind the scenes. Nobody else knowing about it but me, my therapist, and possibly some close relatives that can be able to watch out for me if I'm going through something, especially if it's mental. We don't want to lose Will. This man has really not made, that we know of, any like real mistakes in his life that we know of. I mean, of course, him and his wife are both cheating on each other and have some kind of marriage that they both agree on, which is none of my damn business. As long as they agree on it, it's on them. It ain't hurt nobody, it's on them. But that's their agreement. And so be it. We have no say so in that, nor should we judge that. But he hasn't done anything that we know wrong toward other people, hurting other people, nothing. This is the first time. We can't throw him away because he made one mistake that we know of. That's ridiculous. But we can wait for this brother to find his way. Whether he got to go see a Buddhist priest, whatever he was going out and doing, people say he was doing, which I really haven't really tracked that much. But as long as he's working on himself, he has the right to do that, and we should give him that time to do that. But I don't like the fact that she is putting it out there. Leave it alone. You're instigating stuff. These men have not come to, in their minds, independently, any way whatsoever, to apologize or feel real bad about what they did. They're thinking about it. And I believe they'll come back to the right decision. They're good men. Outside of one incident, and I don't have anything wrong with Chris Rock. Chris Rock didn't do anything wrong. People say, oh, he made a joke. Chris Rock has said worse jokes before. And not only to Jada, he said it to everybody. That's just his thing. Everybody knows that's Chris Rock. So I don't have any onus on Chris. I'm just worried about Chris's mental state. He's been bullied his whole life. And Will knew that. That's why I'm kind of mad at Will for that. But it's like, yo, I don't hate anybody. I'm like, I want to love them through it. So therefore, I back off and say, hey, do your thing. There's no negative going your way. I hope you're working it out. Don't harm yourself. We love you still. I don't know what your wife is saying, but I do believe she need to step out of that because it's not doing any good. Chris Rock ain't paying 1 ounce of sense, a thought process to her at all. Tony Rock, everybody on his family and friends and stuff like that don't call her out of her name a billion times. She's not going to be the mediator, but I think she wants to just because of that show. I think the only fame that she has claimed right now is that show, and that's more important than anything. That show should have went off after all that stuff went down. She back on there and bringing it up. I'm like, yo, you can't solve this problem by putting this man and his issues at this point in the public eye for money. It's just insane. Will has enough damn money right now. He ain't going broke no time soon. He could quit right now, never make another movie in his life, and he'll have enough money to live wealthy for the rest of his life. So let the man have his time. He don't work too damn hard to have it all fall apart. Give him time. Stop playing with this man. Just let him be. Tony Rock was heated. They heard Tony Rock fight. They said Tony Rock and his brother, one of his brothers, fight too, like professionally or something like that. Wants to fight him, and literally like wants a match with him. And I was like, look, I understand you being mad, but it's not going to solve anything. It's not. It's just going to be destructive. But just like anything else, I knew when I grew up, I only got in a few fights, in my life. And actual fist fight, not too many at all, really, but verbal a lot, all face to face. But I've been in a few fist fights. But the people that I had the fist fight with, we became close afterwards because we both were just testing each other at some point. Whether that person thought I was too smart, and 'cause I was really a straight A student helping everybody out. So he was like this brute, this type of sports guy. So he felt stupid, and for me, I didn't think nothing of this dude. I'm like, I ignored him most of the time because he was kind of like a bully. But got fed up with it. Bow, fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? Busted lip, black eye. Come to school. Couple days later, can you help me with this? Oh yeah, can you help me with that? And we cool as hell throughout like middle school and going to high school because it's just hashing out things that we're different and we just don't understand our differences. So we're hashing them out. And sometimes it comes to fisticuffs. But with him, there's so many things that are going on and so many moving parts. The reason why Will went off is because of the way he feels toward his wife. So there needs to be kind of some separation, which he has done. He's separated from her, not marriage wise, but he's left that home and tried to work it out. If he's left the house, he left the crib and went somewhere else, I don't know if it's temporary or whatever, he knows where the problem lies. He didn't boil over because he was pissed at Chris Rock for years. He boiled over because there was so much other tensions that he was going through, and it boiled over. And I'm sure he's going to come out with it, probably write a book about it. Is what it is. But I think we need to work on it and say, you know what? We're going to give you time to do your thing. We got your back. We love you. I think that people need to let people know that, but own up to your stuff. Will could lose it all, continue to lose it all if he stay in that stubborn mindset and don't apologize to the man. Uh-oh. We got emergency alert. Sorry. I don't know if you guys can still see me. We had an emergency alert. Somebody done stole a car or something. Jada looked beautiful. Yeah, Jada looks beautiful. I really think, I don't know what that, there's all kind of gossip around. So I'm not even going to tap on that gossip part, but it just seems like there's a lot of issues going on in that house. And because they're going on in this house, I just personally, if it was me, I have to turn off that red table talk. Not permanently, but at least good, 6 months and work this out. You can't work it out in the public eye. It's too many, especially with Chris, with Will. It's gonna happen again here with Will because Will gets hurt too easy, seems like. So he takes it personal. And if he takes it personal, there's no way in hell. There's no way that this man gonna be able to work it out in public. Now, she may not care. She may not, care about it being out in public. It automatically seems that way, but he does. And that's one thing I realized when I was married, and that's why I realized I needed a divorce, is that when my ex didn't even like think about me when things were going down, it was always about her. And I see that in Jada. It is always about her. It is never about Will. Even when he did this, she wasn't in support of him. She wasn't like against him. She was quiet. Then she comes out and says something. And I just realized if I'm going to get up and fight for you, I'd be damned if you don't fight for me. That showed me what kind of person she was. When he was at his lowest, she was nowhere to be found verbally. If she believed in what he did and it was okay, seeing as how she laughed, the first thing she should have said, that's my man. That's right. He protected me, and that's what he was supposed to do. My man, if that's what she really felt. Or the opposite side, we need to work some things out. That's not Will. You know what I mean? It was just, we've been going through some things, and sorry about what's going on, but we're going through some things. We're going to take some time away. He deserves all the other things that are happening to him. He understands that. Something that's conciliatory. It's like, I understand we're going through some things and he's going through some things. Give us some breathing room. None of that. None of that. She kind of like stepped away from it like it had nothing to do with her. Left him on that island by himself. I was like, how do you leave your man on an island like that when he just blew up the whole damn city for you? He just blew up everything. His whole life just threw a grenade on a nuclear bomb on it in hopes to gain some kind of favor with you. Because I know men. He didn't do that on his own. He didn't make a joke about Will. He made one about her. So that means he was defending her. Then he gets back, keep your name out, keep my wife's name. He's defending her. She may not have needed his defending. But she didn't seem like she didn't care about it. She seemed like she liked it because she laughed. And when he came back, he came walking back. You didn't see her face looking like, what the hell did you just do? You saw her chuckling. So yeah, it's a bit wrong. And that's what my 2 cents on this situation is, that we need to work on supporting our people when they're going through what they're going through. But we also have to help them take responsibility for their actions. We just can't excuse it, because then those types of things repeat. We excuse it, it repeats. We can hold people accountable without dogging them. We can literally say, you know what, dude, you were wrong in that situation, and you need to apologize to do it. None of this whack apology crap. This is straight up apology. He didn't do nothing to you but tell a joke. Now, if he went up there and smacked your wife's butt, something like that, you had every right to do what you did. But to say words, that's child's play. Child's play. You don't do that. Men don't do that. Boys do that. And I know you're not a boy. You don't been through way too much in your life to let something that small trigger you. A joke. And other people, oh, it was a culmination of jokes. I'm like, please, people. You know how many times I grew up and people call all kinds of names to me over and over again as a kid? I did not go up and slap them. I don't care how many years upon years. How many people in here have been bullied through high school? Did you go up there and slap the hell out of the student? All of them that did it throughout? No, you didn't. Most of you didn't. So please stop giving excuses for things like that. People who do things like that, yes, they deserve something, but to go up and slap them, that's messing up your world, because all they did is say something verbal to you. Learn how to verbally fight. Anybody that talks down to you or says something negative to you, they have a weak spot. Most of the time they're using it. It's their words, because they think words will hurt you because they know those words would hurt them. So if you just turn it around and figure out how to do the exact same thing to them to get them off of you, you can get people who are verbally abusive off you by repeating what they're doing to them even worse. And just so that you can get them off, not to keep on doing it forever and become the bully, but to shut them up. You don't have to fight and break laws. Just verbally go back at them. And once they see you're not a punk, they back off usually. It's just that simple. Every woman is not wife material. Exactly. Every man's not husband material. Same thing. You have to really, it's a commitment. You really have to want to be a spouse. You know what I mean? And you really have to understand that it's people in here know, people been here married for a long time. It's not something to play with. You know, it's something that you really have to commit to. And it's a lot of give and take. Your personal business on social media. Yep. I mean, there's no reason, unless you and your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or lover or whatever the heck it is. Not unless you guys are public, like social media figures, where you guys have, that's where you make your living, like husband and wife cooking team or something like that. Then yeah, you're gonna have some of your personal stuff there, but not the intense personal stuff. I mean, it's not gonna be talking about your sex life. You're not gonna be talking about, whether you paid a bill or not. I mean, you're not talking about like, health issues. You're talking about what you guys love, cooking and going on vacations, and what do you think about the topic of the day type of thing. And you can do that without having to tell people, you know what, he cheated on me. Oh, you did. Oh, what is all that for? Usually I notice that anytime somebody bringing somebody into their relationship, public figures or going on TikTok or wherever it is to do it, is because they can't win an argument in the house. So therefore they got to tell the world so that they can have somebody that can side with them. But the thing is, so what if they're on your side? Once you turn this off button off, you by yourself again. So there's no reason to bring in people who can't do nothing for you once you turn off their power button. Go see a counselor. You know what I'm saying? Go see a close friend that that you can trust or something like that. But no, don't be sharing all your personal stuff on here. That just doesn't make any sense. Not unless you want to have a social therapy or something like that. You expect somehow these people are going to help you, which you'll see. People come in here just to be butt heads. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to help you at all. They're trying to destroy you. And that's the thing. Also, a lot of people can't stand people being happy. So they'll do everything they can. They see your happiness to destroy that. And it's not because they don't like you. They don't like themselves. And they don't like seeing anybody else happy because they're not happy. So therefore, they don't take pride when things good happen to you. They don't take pride when you get a promotion because they didn't get one. So many people are focused on me so much that they stuck on me. You can't pull them off anybody else onto nobody else. Some of them are so bad. Me is more important than their family, their kids, anybody. It's just them. And those times, that's where they're using, people who follow them or people who like what they do to validate who they are. And when they turn this thing off, life is just horrible because they haven't found love for themselves. They haven't found out what's their purpose, why they're here. So they're so focused on getting it from you guys. And some of us just enjoy. I've always been, and you guys know this if you've been around for a while, I'm a talker, always have been. I do speeches. God knew what he did when he put inside me. He put inside me the ability to talk. And I do that shit like all the time. So, I'm a talker. I have been since I was a kid. And, when I was young, it's like, dude, why don't you just shut up? And I thought about that. I'm like, it's in me, dude. I love to learn. And I usually talk about everything that I learn. And a lot of times it's verbal so that I can remember it. Because sometimes when I see something and I read it, I don't remember it as well. But when I say it out loud, I remember it. Everybody has their own way of learning. Some have to hear it. Some can just read it. Others have to touch it. Some have to actually do it. There's nothing wrong with either one. So if you are a talker and people are saying things, it's like, you know what? You're just not like me. That's a certain type of brilliance that I have, because if we don't have talkers, then we don't have teachers. We don't have talkers, then we don't have presidents. If we don't have talkers, we don't have businesses, people who own businesses. We don't have jobs if we don't have talkers. So it's all part of the process. We need talkers, we need doers, we need people who feel all that. It's not cool to talk about his man size. Who talked about somebody's man? Did she talk about his man size? I didn't retain that. Seeking validation outside of yourself. Yeah. A lot of people seek that validation. And I'm gonna tell you, it's understandable. Almost all of us have been through dysfunctional families in some way, shape, or form. If it wasn't our mom or dad, it may have been our brother or sister, maybe been our uncle, maybe been our aunt, maybe been our best friend. We've all been through something that's dysfunctional. It's whether we carry that on for the rest of our lives or we decide at some point in our life, we got to let go of that and figure out how we can change it. And usually it's getting rid of those types of people out of your life and allowing those other people who don't have those particular traits into your life. Like they say, you are uh, you are more like the people you're around. So if you're around like people who are thugs, then you most certainly are one. Even though you may not think you're one, you are one. If you're around business people and you're business minded, then you are a business person, or at least there's something about it that you are attracted to and that you can understand what they're talking about. You're interested in it. So that's what type of person you are. If you're around a bunch of dumb people and you're the smartest one, there's a problem, because you're not learning. Everybody's trying to learn from you. And we all know we're not the smartest person in our group, no matter what. We may be in certain situations, but we are around other people who are smarter than us. And we need to attract them as well into our lives so that we can grow, so that we can obtain better jobs, better housing, create wealth. You can't, and one of the wealthier people that I know and I learned when I was younger in my 20s said to me, and I probably told you guys this before, is that you can't create wealth unless you create wealth for somebody else. I asked this one rich person, and the exact phrase that he said, I said, and this was when I was in my 20s, about 26, 27. I said, how do you get rich, man? And he's like, because I was going into film and entertainment at the time. And he said, I'm going to give you the key for something. One, in order to become wealthy, you must make somebody else wealthy. It can't be just you getting wealthy, right? It's like, here's somebody who is already wealthy, and here you are. You get behind them, they're going to drag you with them. Because if you make them wealthier, you become wealthy. You just take that on, keep going. And you start doing it to other people, and it keeps on lifting. Because that's how you do it. It's not just by yourself. Everybody who's wealthy has gotten there from a wealthier person. They didn't get it there from a broke person. They didn't get it there from a broke mentality. They got there from somebody who was already rising and they took it and came up with their sale. So that's how we end up getting ahead. Um, a lot of our young don't know that. And then some of our young who have gotten into bad situations recognize that because you get in with certain bad people in your community who's making money, you make money. You risk your life every second of the day, but you make money because this person may be dealing drugs, maybe doing whatever, something, stealing stuff, ripping off cars, whatever. They're making money every day. You're not. You're getting their coattails. You got to do negative, but you're doing all this negative stuff. And as they rise, you rise. You start getting cars and clothes and shoes. It's the same thing, but you just don't have to do the negative part. You can go find people who have startup businesses or ideas. And that right there can help you move to that next level. Even if it's not super wealthy, got to share the benefits. Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize that not everybody wants to be wealthy. And what I mean by wealthy, meaning like not everybody wants to be a billionaire or 10 millionaire. A lot of people find wealth. Like I know people who live in the South, uh, and if they made $100,000 a year, that's wealthy to them. They could live off that and not have a problem with it. And be like, dude, I can have that for the rest of my life. That's wealth to me. I'll be able to buy whatever I want to buy, live where I want to live in a certain area that they're living in. But there's no jobs out here like that. I'm like, you got an internet, don't you? It's like, yeah, then there are jobs out there like that. It's just that you don't qualify for them. And now you got to get yourself qualified for those jobs. And it's a lot easier than you think. There are a lot of free programs out there. I posted a video about it. There's a lot of free programs out there starting out with $50,000 a year jobs with no experience in tech. And it's a tech job. They teach you. And while they teach you, they pay you. It's like there are many gigs out there, but most Black people or people of color have no clue about them. And we have this thing coming up called Hip Hop Hackathon. And that explains a lot. There's going to be a lot of programs coming down for Black kids and people of color, college students and so forth, and even younger, possible, investments for them as well. So there's a lot coming down the pike that I'll keep you guys abreast to. But those are the things that, I wanted to get off my mind. That's why I call this segment MindShare, just sharing what's on my mind. Uh, I enjoy, doing this. I appreciate you guys, hanging out and listening to me for this last hour almost. It's been like 45 minutes or something. YouTube actually records and keeps time on it. I didn't see nobody come up. It's okay though. This is the first time I ever did it. I didn't expect anybody to show up anyway on that. But I got one out of the way and you guys were here for it. So one down, YouTube live, and we'll keep on trying to do these mind shares of topics of the day. You know me. If you got a topic you want me to talk about, hit me up, throw it into my comment section. on one of my videos, or hit me up if you're following me and message me, and I'll cover some of these topics. Hey, Queenie, how you doing? Of course, Friday we have Chocolate Music Lab music on TikTok at Blacklist for you guys on YouTube. Sorry, I've been looking down because ain't nobody in the room. But when you see this, you're gonna see a brother looking down the whole time on YouTube. It's all right though. It's a learning curve. But yeah, Blacklist on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, I teach about Black brilliant people in American history. Um, and then on top of that, like I said, Chocolate Music Lab. We do old school music from 9:30 Pacific Standard Time on Friday, and that goes on for like 6 hours. And nice to meet you too, Queenie. Uh, Goes on for like 6 hours or so, sometimes seven. I'm just standing here listening to good music for a long time, and watching wonderful people. My moderators are dope. Is there some in here? Thank you for showing up. And Tuesday, I have another a chocolate music lab, but that one is mostly hip hop, rap, and R&B, old school like 90s, 80s, and so forth. But you can have requests and you can play whatever you particularly want in that situation, as long as it's in those realms somewhat. I'm from Los Angeles. That's where I'm at now. Originally from Indianapolis. And then on Sunday, we do jazz and blues. Etta James, Ray Charles, all movie, Bobby Blue Bland, uh, uh, BB King, all kinds, Dorothy Dandridge. We just get it in. Georgia, nice. You're welcome, Antoinette. I appreciate you for showing up. Thank you. Thank my moderators. I appreciate it. And we just have a good time. And then I have my business, Black Dollar Fund, which is going to be teaching financial literacy. And hopefully it's fun for the kids and the adults. We're going to do it a kind of a fun way. If you ever remember Electric Company, we're going to do something like Electric Company and teach people just terms that you can be able to implement in your life and be able to learn about financial literacy and be able to start to invest in what you're doing. What's up, Solomon? So I enjoyed you guys. Thank you very much. I don't want to keep you too long. This is my first live on talking about things. I call it MindShare, sharing things that are on my mind about, hot topics of the day or week. You can actually post it if you wanted me to talk about something. I post it, but comment or hit me up with a message, DM me. You're always music to my ears. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So we'll have a good time, and I'll come back. Can we be friends? Oh, definitely, definitely. Everybody in here, man, we all cool. Definitely friends, man. I appreciate you. Um, and so, come back and we'll talk some more. You guys want to share some things? Uh, I will start because this is my first time. I'm gonna start YouTube and you guys. I'm gonna start bringing up people during these talks so that we can have a one-on-one and talk. If you got 1,000 followers, then we can be able to have this conversation with each other. You can ask me questions if I have any answers on those topics. I don't follow everything closely, but usually the most important things or some of the hot topics they always pop up on my feed. So I either watch a little clip of it, and then I'll share what I think of that particular topic. Um, Thank you, Vicky, Army veteran. I appreciate you. You're the best too. Antoinette as well. You guys, I'm gonna let you go. And you say you're private. Oh, I feel you. Uh, Pretty much everybody here is kind of like on the private side. They don't really do anything outside. Not everybody, but moderators and people who come to me and are in a part of the Chocolate Music Lab family are definitely mostly private, but we hang out. We want to hang out. We're gonna end up doing something one day. They want me to DJ some stuff. I'll see if I can. Like I said, I don't do DJing, but I love music, so I can always play some things if we put some stuff together. We'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you guys for showing up. You on YouTube, thank you for the first time me being on live, and I'll close it out. It's kind of long, but it is what it is. It's 49 minutes. Uh, and for you guys, thank you for showing up for the first time as well on this particular segment, Mindshare. And I'll see you on Friday if you want to check it out. And if not, we'll see you when you see you. I'll see you when I see you. All right. All right, guys. You take it easy. Be safe. Thank you for that candy apple. I appreciate that. Thank you for the likes and gifts. And I'll see you guys on Friday. All right. Take care. And I'll see you guys too. Sorry. This is my first time doing live with you guys. So I'm going live streaming. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Thank you, TikTok. Please like, share, follow. Um, And I produce some more content. You should go check out my Brilliant Studios page, and you'll see some of the things that I do. Uh, Black Brilliance on the B side. That's a lot of stuff that I talk about. Just brilliant Black people in American history that I'm pretty sure many people do not know about. So if you want to learn about that, we're going to start doing some major like financial literacy. My business is all about investing in Black entrepreneurs. So we're going to start teaching people a lot about business. So stay tuned, stick around, and yes, these go long because I have a lot to say, and I have a bigger audience on TikTok. So thanks a lot, guys, and be safe.